Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers, ISPs, must treat all internet communications equally and not discriminate or charge differently based on user content, website, platform, application, type of equipment, source address, destination address, or method of communication. Net neutrality means that no one with more money receives special treatment. The internet and all the wonderful applications and programs that leverage it are not readily available in all parts of the world. While adoption and access continues to grow, some are still left out. Proponents of net neutrality, which include computer science experts, consumer advocates, human rights organizations, and internet content providers, assert that net neutrality helps to provide freedom of information exchange, promotes competition and innovation for internet services, and upholds standardization of internet data transmission, which was essentially for its growth. The digital divide is still very much a reality today. The digital divide is a term that refers to the gap between demographics and regions that have access to modern information and communication technology and those that don't or have restricted access. This technology can include the telephone, television, personal computers, and internet connectivity. The term digital divide doesn't necessarily mean that a person does not have technology. It can mean that there is simply a difference in technology. This difference can refer to, for example, high quality computers, fast internet, technical assistance, or telephone services. The difference between all this is also considered a gap. Well before the late 20th century, the digital divide referred chiefly to the difference between those with and without telephone access. After the late 1990s, the term began to be used mainly to describe the split between those with and without internet access, however, particularly broadband. The digital divide typically existed between those in urban areas and those in rural areas, between the educated and uneducated, between the socioeconomic groups, and globally between the more and less industrially developing countries. Even among population with some access to technology, the digital divide can be evident in the form of lower performance computers, lower speed wireless connection, lower price internet use connections, such as dial-up, and limited access to subscription-based content. There are an estimated 429 million people online globally, but even this staggering number is small when considered in context. For example, of those 429 million, fully 41% are in North America. Also, 429 million represents only 6% of the world's entire population. 41% of the global online population is in the United States and Canada. 27% of the online population lives in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. 20% of the online population logs on from Asia Pacific. Only 4% of the world's online population are in South America. Even among highly developed nations, there exists a vast difference in the availability of home internet access. Sweden ranks as the nation with the highest percentage of home internet connections at 61%. Among the biggest reasons why people choose not to go online are the lack of need, no computer, no interest, lack of knowledge for use, and generally the cost involved. Rather than perceiving computers and internet as luxury, the public should view them as crucial necessities. The public must come to realize the incredible power of new technology and embrace them as tools for their future and the future of their children. Empirical tests have identified that several social demographic characteristics foster or limit ICT access and usage. Among different countries, educational levels and income are the most powerful explanatory variables. As countries go into lockdown and travel are restricted, more and more of our lives have been occurring online. Even when the internet is technically available in the country, the price of connecting can be prohibitive. According to Zoom, a 1 hour video call with average internet speed on a mobile plan in the US costs $4 based on data collected by UK-based research firm Cable. And many users in high-income countries access internet via broadband, making the call even cheaper. But in many countries where mobile data is much more expensive than the US or Europe, it is also the go-to source of internet. For example, in Benin and Malawi, that same Zoom call would cost $14 using mobile data, even more expensive given the comparative lower incomes in much of the developing world. According to the UN, affordable internet is defined as no more than 2% of a person's monthly income per gigabyte of data.